Hey everybody, hope you guys are all doing okay. Welcome back to our Might and Magic VIII completionist run. Now, in between episodes, I thought about how I'm going to close the series out. We really only have two things left to do. One is obviously to finish the game, but the other thing is to look at the various secrets and Easter eggs and other little hidden things in the game. You know, it wouldn't really be a 100% run if we just ignored all that stuff. And the decision I had to make was whether to do that before the ending or after the ending as a bonus episode. And I think we're gonna do it first, because it isn't just bonus stuff. A lot of these secrets do have some sort of a practical in-game value. In fact, we've already seen a few of them. Chiefly the hidden items where if you interact with them you get treasure. There are more of those beyond just the ones that I showed. The ones that I showed are just the ones that had artifacts. So there are more of those that we haven't looked at. And there are also items that do other strange little things when you interact with them. The chief one of those that we've been interacting with is the tree in Murmur Woods, that if you have diamonds you get horseshoes. But there are other items that do other things when you interact with them. So because that's all like they are hidden, they are secrets that you've got to really either look them up or really be trying and interacting with everything to find them. So there are secrets in that way, but they are also like they have a practical effect within the game. So for that reason, it makes more sense to treat them not as a bonus thing, but as part of the regular, like the main body of the Let's Play. Let's just call it that way. Alright, so that's gonna be the plan. We'll do the secrets first. However, in this episode, we won't be doing all of the secrets. Rather, we're just gonna be doing one. And the reason is because while most of the secrets you can just interact with them provided certain criteria are met, for this one, in order to even get it to work, it's gonna take a bit of work. Specifically, we're gonna need to get rid of our money, and we're gonna have to do it quickly. Or we're gonna have to find a way to quickly get rid of 294,000 gold in order to get the secret to work. And the secret itself isn't even that interesting. In fact, I would argue it is the most useless secret in the entire game. Why are we doing it? It's because we're gonna get a journal entry out of it. And so, beyond just showing you all the secrets, it is also important because without it, our journal would be missing an entry. Now, without further ado, let's get going, and you'll soon see what all of this is about. To start off with, we're gonna have to go to this place, Neblick's house. Now, I mentioned we're gonna have to find a way to get rid of our money. And there's really only one way that I know of to do it quickly, and that is coming to this guy's house. Let me save my game, and buying this item from him. Now, it's important that once you start buying, you don't leave his house, because if you then come back, you won't be able to buy it again unless you've completed one cycle of this trade triangle. So he will sell you those vouchers and he will buy silver dust of the sea. There's going to be a different guy who buys the vouchers and gives you something else. Then there'll be a third guy who'll buy that something else and he'll give you silver dust of the sea. And then if you sell him some silver dust of the sea, I think you'll get the option to buy the credit vouchers again. We'll test that at the like later on in the episode just to confirm that this is how it works. But for now, what we need to do is we need to buy as many of these vouchers as we can. Now we've got 294,000 gold to blow through. These vouchers are 6,500 apiece. So 40 of them would be 260,000 gold. I think 44 of them would be 286,000. So around like 44-ish is how many we're gonna buy. And this is the most we can get. And surprisingly, they can all fit inside Sorry Blackthorn's inventory. Her inventory is completely full. And none of them spilled over into Leanne Stormlance's inventory or anyone else's inventory. I was thinking we might actually need to use some for space. Like, I was glad that we got the potions done because they were taking up a lot of space in Leanne's inventory. But as it turns out, at least for this, we don't need any extra space beyond just Sorry's inventory. Now, we're not quite done. We also need to get we need to get we need to waste a bit more gold. Before we waste gold, let's actually, I noticed we're out of food, so let's buy some food.
Do come in.
And if I'm gonna have one of my other characters do it just to waste even more gold. So
A simple repast.
I'm gonna pay 1,024 for that, and I think
Come in.
we're just gonna rest here a few nights.
Your chamber awaits.
Just
Do come in. Your chamber awaits. Do come in. Your
I think if
chamber
we do this,
awaits.
yeah, we're gonna be able to do this. So we'll do this
chamber
like
awaits.
this,
Do come
and
in.
then we can't do it with you anymore. But you, with your merchant bonus, we can rest once
Chamber
more.
awaits.
And with this, we are under 100 gold, which is what we need to be. Now, what we do is we go back to Ravenshore. Cast Flight. Now we need to go to Garrote Gorge. And again, I have to warn you, all of this setup might seem like I'm about to show you something really cool. Like, we bought all these vouchers, we had to use our math knowledge, a bit of arithmetic, to get our gold down to this seemingly very specific amount. So you might be thinking, oh, there's going to be something interesting that's going to be the upshot of all this, but please keep your expectations low. Because even me telling you this, once I show you what the point of all of this is, you are going to be like, you're gonna get angry at how disappointing it is. I just don't want you to get angry at me, because I'm just like don't shoot the messenger kind of situation. All right. Now with all of that done, expectations suitably lowered, now comes the point of all of that. Let's enjoy the nice music for a couple seconds. And now what we have to do is, with less than 100 gold in our inventory, if we come here, if we drink from this well, we get 200 gold. That's it. That's the entire secret. I know, I am just as disappointed as you are. Okay. The reason we had to do all of that is because if we do that, it does go inside our fountains section in our journal. We get a note for the well in Garrote Gorge, and it tells us that if we have less than 100 gold, it gives us 200 gold. Now, I'm gonna talk for a second about why that secret is so bad. A lot of you have probably already guessed. Well, I mean, you've already seen that it's not that much money, and for that reason it's disappointing. But there's one other reason that has to do with how this game is designed that will show why this in particular is just the most useless thing possibly in this entire game. And the reason is because this well comes not in the early game, but you're probably in the mid game by the time you go to Garrote Gorge, even for the first time. Because like you'll get to Ravenshore, you'll get to Alvar, probably you'll even go to Shadowspire before you go to Garrote Gorge for the first time. And by then, the chances of you having less than 100 gold in your inventory are very, very small. And as I've mentioned multiple times, in this game, it is a lot harder to lose money than it is to make money. In fact, despite the fact that I've not been very good at collecting gold in this game, we still had enough gold that I had to find a way to get rid of it all. And I had to use this very specific mechanic of buying these vouchers in order to do that. So the chance that you'll... Like, there's a point in the game where it's unlikely that you will ever be below 10,000, much less below 100. And the odds of you being below 100 and interacting with that one specific well, like, there's a reason most walkthroughs don't even mention the existence of this well. It's because most of them probably don't even know. It's because it's such a specific thing that in the course of a normal playthrough would never be triggered. The only reason I even found it is because I was doing some testing early on, and I was like, okay, some of these wells seemingly don't do anything, but what if one of them is like one of those other early game wells where you get gold, but only if you don't have gold. So yeah, while doing that testing, I found that out, and I was like, oh, okay, so that's what's going on. Anyway, we're at 200 gold. What I'm gonna do is, I actually realized that there are a couple wells in Regna that I haven't tested yet, which previously didn't do anything, but maybe if we get our gold below 100 again,
Join the party.
which should be easy to do, we'll start. Well, we don't have enough gold for this, but if we rest
Good luck sleeping.
twice,
Join the party. Good luck sleeping.
then we're back below 100. And I've tested every single well in the game except for the ones in Regna. I realized I just completely forgot about all of these. Does this do anything? No. No, not even... Like, they weren't trolls enough to put in the very endgame island a well that would only give you something if you had less than 100 gold, because that would just be silly beyond all, beyond the pale, really. So I'm glad that they haven't done that. There are a couple Well, one of these was the Well of Speed, the well that gives you speed if you don't have a high base speed, but then there's another well that didn't do anything. Hang on, we can see which one did what. So, well, okay, it doesn't say which well it was. It could have been this one, could have been the other one. Okay, so this well doesn't do anything. And just for completeness' sake, I don't think this well is going to do anything either. But let's just check to make sure. Yeah. These wells are just there for the aesthetics. There aren't any other useless, you know, you get a small amount of gold, but only if you have less than 100 gold. There aren't any more of those. And with that, I think we have found our final fountain note, and this section of our journal is complete. And indeed, with that, the only thing left is seer notes, and then our entire journal will be complete. But for the seer notes, we're gonna have to advance the main quest. Okay, now with that done, we're done with the secret. It was a very underwhelming secret, but I figured that we'd make this episode about something else, about something other than the fact that we had to, in a really convoluted way, find a secret that, in retrospect, we probably wish we had never heard about just because it was that useless. Let's talk a bit about the thing that I did, buying all these credit vouchers. Now, early on in the series, well, when you start on Daggerwound Island, you have those crates full of Tobersk fruit, Tobersk pulp, and a couple of bottles of Tobersk brandy. That is actually part of one of the trade triangles early on, and we actually did a bit of trading in that vein. That's the least profitable one of these situations, but it's also an early game one, so I think we ended up getting 6,000 or 7,000, some small amount of gold, but at that early stage in the game it was a decent amount of gold to get. Later on, when you've got hundreds and thousands of gold, well, first of all, you won't even need more gold by that point because there's nothing to spend it on. But if, for some reason, you have the urge to, I don't know, just inflate the amount of currency at your disposal, you can do this. So let's cash in these vouchers and we'll see how much money we get out of these. Now, to sell the vouchers, I think, well, first of all, let's confirm Neblik still isn't selling us any. I think the person who buys these vouchers is in the Ravage roaming region. And before I go, I actually just need to look something up. I need to look up who the third person in this triangle situation is gonna be. So, let me just see Might and Magic VIII trade triangles. I'll just pull that up on my phone while I fly over to the individual in question. Right, so let's see. Okay, so the third person is going to be in Shadowspire. Okay. Ooh, There are enemies around, and I think these enemies can be very annoying. I do believe they have one-hit KO capabilities, and we don't have our Day of Protection buff on us. You know what, while we're here... let me just swing over to the fort, because I know this area will have reset multiple times. Let's pick up the horseshoes that we know are going to be around. Yellow barrel, sure, I'll take it. One horseshoe. Second horseshoe. Was there a third one, or were there only two? Probably there are only two. Okay. That's fine. A couple extra skill points. Gets us closer to putting one more point into light magic. Maybe when we level up. Which... which we'll probably do before we start on the endgame quests. Okay. We have to fly over to this village, and somebody in here will buy all these vouchers from us. This person, yes. So we bought them for 6,500 a piece. I think we bought like 44 of them, thereabouts. And now we can sell them for 7,500. Oh no. We can buy ground wyvern horn for 7,500. We can sell forged credit vouchers for how much? We start with 12. We get 72.53 minus 12, which is 72.41. So not quite a profit of 1,000, but a profit of about 700 and a bit per voucher. And if we sell all of them, you'll see that we've gone from 294,000 to 340,000. We've made a profit of about 40 grand-ish. And what else we can do is we can buy ground wyvern horn. Now there's a reason why I picked the vouchers as the thing to buy, to waste all my money. It's because this item, while technically more expensive than the vouchers, so in terms of how many of these we'd need fewer of these, but they take up so much space that they would fill up our inventory, whereas the vouchers, we'd need more of them, but they take up less space, so we can fit more of them in our inventory. And now that we've bought this, well, he's still selling us more despite us. Maybe it's because we came and we sold him the thing, which is why his option to buy it still hasn't gone away. I want to check something. Has changing maps reset Neblik's ability to sell, or do we actually have to complete this triangle? Yeah, okay, now going out of the map and coming back has reset him. I want to check something. So if we buy a voucher, now he's no longer selling. So is it enough merely to go in and out of the map? So if we just... Sorry, like I'm getting a bit distracted, but this is something I haven't tested. So we go back to Ravenshore now. Is he gonna Is he gonna sell? No, he won't. But if we go back to Ravage roaming, and if we sell this single voucher, then will he? Sorry, I'm getting distracted. Just like I'm getting into, you know, testing mode, just because I'm curious to see how this is gonna work. So let's fly to the village and let's see what exactly it requires to get that particular NPC to be able to sell you his vouchers again. So what if is it enough to just visit Cagnar, or do I actually have to sell to him? Let's just check how this works, because if we can figure out how this works, this is... No, he still won't sell, so let's load our autosave. And if we sell that single voucher, and now go back to Ravenshore, now will he sell? Now he'll sell. Okay. So all you have to do is sell some of the vouchers that you got from him, and then he will be able to sell you more. That's important because, as I mentioned, while the other items might be more expensive on paper, practically, because the vouchers are so small, they will be your main way of making money, if that's something you need to do. Like, it's not... Again, you're not gonna need money in the game. Okay. Let's sell the ground wyvern horn, which we bought for 7,500. And again, we're getting about 8,000 and a bit. And if you want to see what silver dust of the sea looks like, again, it's a very large item. And for completeness' sake, let's go back to Ravenshore and sell this, and we've done one full circuit of this trading triangle. So just checking to see if there were any barrels at the docks. Alright, let's see. Sell you, we bought this for 5,000, and we get... You can do the math yourself if you're interested. Like, we don't really even care that much about how much. We just wanted to get rid of that large item from our inventory, I guess. So the reason it was important to see what it took to get this guy to sell you vouchers again is because, as we've seen, this is the most lucrative thing you can do via trading. Just fill your inventory with these. Eventually, if you've got like 600,000 plus gold, you'll be filling every single character's inventory. Well, I guess... Well, it would be filling our character's inventory just because most of them are carrying so many items, but it took about 44 to fill your inventory, and you could have even held a few more. Let's say you could have held at least 8 more, 9 more, 10... Well, you know, why speculate when we can get an exact number? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So if you filled every single character's inventory with nothing but forged credit vouchers, you could fit 63 9 by, and each of them takes up like a 2 horizontal space like this. So yeah, you could fit 63 per character. 5 characters makes it 315, and then you'd be making millions of gold at that point. But again, you'd have nothing to do with that gold, but if you wanted to, you could do that. Okay. With that out of the way, there is one final thing to talk about, and that is, even though you don't need this much gold in this game for practical... Like, there's no practical reason to have this much gold in the game. There is practical value in being able to get rid of your gold quickly. And that is, if you're playing under... Like, if you have a self-imposed rule set where, for example, you're not gonna load your game if you get killed, you'll just accept the consequences. I'm just gonna show you what happens if you get killed. The easiest way to get killed is to just drown. I don't know why I'm taking so long. Okay, so you got a bit of a cutscene, and then all of your gold gets taken away from you. All of your gold, but not your items. So let me load my game again. If we went to Neblik, for example, bought a couple of vouchers, and then if we killed ourselves... I'm also doing this because it occurs to me that I didn't actually show you the cutscene properly.
Hey! Ow!
So this time we'll watch the death cutscene, and then I'll show you,
It's up to me.
as you've probably already guessed, that the items we just bought will still be in there. This lovely cutscene. Okay. The aftermath of a battle. This person is, I guess, giving these people a bit of a mercy killing. I assume that's what he's doing. Like, he's not a bad person just murdering people for no reason. Like, they're, you know, there's going to be no medical help coming, so that's why... Ooh. So that's why he's like, let me just... Sorry about the repeated pop-ups, but, yeah, just, hit the wrong key a few times, and then I had to get the volume back to the right level. Okay. So, before I load my game, I'll just show you, we still have those vouchers. Now, if you're playing under the constraint that you're not allowed to load your game, if you got killed, you would lose all your money. But if you were holding valuable items that you could exchange for money, you could get all your money back. So it would be to your advantage to hold your money not in gold form, but in the form of items, and then you could exchange those items for gold as needed. Now, the thing about these vouchers is they are... Well, they're an easy way to convert your gold into items, for sure. They're also a good way to get extra money by selling them, but they're not the most easily converted to gold, because to convert them to gold, you have to go all the way to Ravage Roaming. Ravage Roaming is a dangerous area with lots of enemies that can wreck you. So a more, like a safer way to quickly convert your gold into high value items, I would argue, is to go to
Sure, we
a
got
stealth guild
spells.
and then just buy high level spells. So the Grandmaster level spells are going to be 5,000, so these are like 2,000, 3,000, and just have a party member whose inventory is just nothing but spell books. And then you'll know that even if you get killed, at least you'll be able to quickly go to any magic shop and sell those spell books. And if you have Grandmaster Merchant, you'll be able to get exactly what you paid for them with no loss of money. So that's a bit of a thing that you could do. I've never had to do it myself, mainly because, and I don't want to brag, but mainly because I usually don't, like, I don't fear death in this game the same way that I did in Might and Magic VI. In MM6, even with a fully stacked out party in the end game, I still feel like I'm only 2 or 3 unlucky hits from a full party wipe. This game feels a lot easier in terms of the combat. But nonetheless, I guess technically it is possible, so if I was playing under the no reload condition, which I generally don't play that way, but if I was, then I'd know that I have options available to me to keep my hard-earned gold in a safer format than simply a bunch of gold coins that'll disappear if I die. So that's the other thing about why you'd want to get rid of your gold if you can turn your gold into something else. You probably wouldn't want to do it, but if you felt like you wanted to play that way, that is an option. So that is, I guess, worth talking about. But that is the last thing that I had to talk about for this episode. We are done. It was mainly... But technically the only thing we accomplished in this episode was we got that one really disappointing secret into our journal. But we, like, salvaged the episode. We prevented it from being completely, a complete write-off by talking a little bit about the game mechanics, which are interesting. The trade triangles, and also the concept of keeping your gold in item form to preserve it in case you got killed. So that, at least I find it interesting, looking at games and talking about their mechanics, and I'm sure at least a few of you do too, so yes. That is going to be all for this episode, though. Next episode, we're going to be looking at the rest of the secrets in this game, and I assure you, most if not all, in fact all of them, let's just be honest, all of them are going to be more interesting than a well that gives you 200 gold if you have less than 100 gold. Coming at a point in the game where you're never going to have less than 100 gold, all of them are going to be better than this. So, I'm looking forward to it, and I hope you are too. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, do consider leaving a like, and if you've been enjoying this series, do consider subscribing as well. But in either case, I'm just happy to have you along, and hope that you're gonna stick along for the next episode as well. And until then, take care.